Okay, now you were Snoop Dogg's first signing to Priority Records, stroke EMI. Now, how significant was that for West Coast rap?
Um, I think it was pretty significant because there hasn't been anything coming out of the West Coast in a while. The only thing it's been Snoop, he's been consistent. But everything else kind of took, like everything else was on hiatus. So I think it was a significant thing for him to have us be his first signing. Priority's first record, first hip hop record out the box, aside from Snoop Dogg. With the relaunch of Priority, not just EMI or Capital attached. So I thought it was a good look for them, and it's a good look for us because now we're on a label that's home based in California, a label that's rich in history within hip hop, and I thought to be label mates with Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube, that's a win-win because eventually you could put a tour together or an album together with those guys, and it could be potentially some great shit. So we ended up in the right place, I think.
Okay, now your pioneers, basically you are the first Latino group basically to go platinum. Now, taking it back to when you first started, what obstacles did you face being Latino and basically entering a African American dominated rap scene?
Well, at first, there wasn't that many obstacles because they didn't know what we were. We made a conscious effort to not put our faces on the cover. You had to hear the album to know that we had Latin influence, but nobody really knew, and that served us well because nobody would lump us in that category. Oh, they're Latin rappers. They just labeled us as a hip hop group, and that was the best thing because that kept us outside of that little box, like once you get labeled as a Latin rapper, at that time you couldn't sell records to anybody else because people weren't tripping off of that whole label, Latin rapper. If you would have just called it MC or a hip hop group or whatever, you had a better chance of sustaining your career a little bit longer or maybe opening more doors for yourself than to call yourself a Latin rapper, which limited you at that time, at that point. That's why Big Pun and Fat Joe never got labeled as Latin rappers. They were just always hot MCs, That's the key to it, if you're a Latin, because, you're sort of like little brother in the whole thing. And really, it shouldn't be looked at as that way because everybody started that hip hop movement together. It was black kids, Latin kids, white kids, Asian kids, all doing the same shit together.